Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Pharaoh and New Era. I was going to stream yesterday, but I just didn't really have the energy for it. So, okay, there we go. I was wondering why it was a black screen. But we have a task today. And I don't know if we're going to be playing more than one mission today on stream because, well, it's kind of late here. I don't have a lot of energy. I only got a few hours of sleep. So I may turn it in early. But I wanted to stream a little bit, just for a couple of hours. And I figured we could get at least one mission done today. Maybe two. Maybe two. Maybe. But we'll see what we can do here. So where we last left off, we had a choice to make. And this seems to be the norm nowadays. It seems like we're always stuck making a choice. And we have our tool for that. We know exactly how to handle that. So let's go ahead and pop out our handy dandy coin flip. There we go. So I figured, let's see, how do we want to do this? Let's say heads we'll do Jeju, and tails will do Bahariya, Oasis. I think that sounds as good as any, right? Yeah, so heads, tails. Let's go. All right, tails it is. Great. That's going to be great, I'm sure. I'm sure nothing bad will happen. All right, so Bahariya Oasis it is. So for this mission, we'll need 3,000 population, culture rating of 15, kingdom rating of 40, prosperity 25, and we'll have to build the Sun Temple. So I'm going to be completely honest. After the Sun Temple mission, my memory is pretty hazy on the later half of the game. I don't even remember if in the original game I ever played it, so it's kind of exciting to get into unexplored territory. And we'll see how this goes. We haven't lost the scenario yet, and that's very good.
The reigns of Khufu and Khafra have come to an end, and with them so too is the fourth dynasty of Egyptian ruling families. But Lady Kentekawis, a distant member of this family, has given birth to a new pharaoh named Userkaf.
Userkaf?
And so the royal line continues unbroken. With Userkaf begins the fifth dynasty, an era that promises much change. Userkaf has decentralized the rule of our country somewhat, and has granted more power to local authorities. Now nomarchs such as you are free to handle their own affairs. Pharaoh will not attempt the construction of a massive tomb to house him for eternity, for he has another project in mind for you. Pharaoh has declared Ra, god of the sun and of the kingdom, to be king of the gods, and intends to proclaim his sovereignty throughout the land. Many sun temples already dot the Egyptian landscape, but Pharaoh wishes to extend Ra's influence to the very edge of our kingdom. To accomplish this, you must build a fortified settlement at the Bahariya Oasis, far into the western desert. Use what water you can find there wisely, for what little there is to be found so far from the precious Nile is usually coveted by the wild beasts of the desert. You must also beware of attacks by Libyan warriors and Bedouin of the desert, which have plagued the desert caravans of late. Plan your defenses carefully.
So I always found ancient Egyptian religion to be kind of interesting because it wasn't like a stagnant thing like a lot of religions, ancient religions are. as like different generations and different eras go through, deities become more or less relevant, with some like being really important early on before falling into obscurity. Just based off of the things that were happening, basically. So this is what we got, huh? Interesting. Very interesting. It's about all I can really say about that. So we have a crossroads here, very little water, and a bunch of trees. A woodcutter. Okay. So the only thing we can sell... Well, I'm sure we could sell a bunch of finished goods. So the only resource we can produce raw is wood. Okay. All right. Where do I even want to begin? I guess we could just start right here. We want to be very careful though, because on maps with wood, once you delete the wood, it's gone forever. So we don't want to delete all of the wood. We just want to delete some so we can put down some housing. So I guess we're just going to start by putting like a strip of housing right here. And eventually, and by eventually I mean very soon, we will definitely want to set up wood production. I assume that we're going to have people we can sell wood to. That would make the most sense. Okay, on here we'll buy wood. Unet will buy straw. What food production do we have? Hunting lodges. Okay. I guess we're hunting these deer? Antelope? Huh. Interesting. Alright. So what we could do... Again, we want to be careful not to delete all the trees. I have to keep reminding myself of that. But we could put our food production out here. Along with our hunting lodges. Let's see. I'm deleting a lot of trees for somebody who says we want to keep the trees. So I don't think our population requirements are oppressive, are they? Let's see, how many much population did we need again? 3,000? That's not bad. That's not bad. So if we make this into a section of housing, and then we can also maybe put a housing over here, and that should really be enough housing for what we need, in theory. Okay. Religion, set, and raw. Okay. I'm trying to think of how I want to do this. I'm probably putting way too much thought into this. Do something like this. I'll put a water supply here, a bazaar here, a firehouse, and an architect's post, and we'll want to put one of those up here as well. And then we can put temple to set, a temple to raw, And then we'll also need a Temple to Ra down here. Just to make sure that the gods are properly satisfied, basically. Alright. Let's unpause the game. Let's see where we go from there. And we may be able to even just bring this down to here. And I think I am immediately going to open up this trade route, because we're going to try to get wood cutting down as fast as possible. Because we have to defend ourselves. We're probably going to be attacked fairly early, if I had to guess. We're not in the kids' missions anymore. They're gonna be aggressive. They're going to be attacking us. So we have to be careful. Otherwise, we could very easily lose. Alright, so they're going nuts on the food. That's great. We'll go ahead and we'll set up a storage yard with plenty of woodcutters. We'll just do four woodcutters. There we go. I heard someone die. Oh, crocodiles. Crocodiles. Okay, well, that's fine. We'll just deal with that as the game requires. Alright, so it's going to be a hot minute before we actually start getting these resources in and start actually making money. But we don't need wood for anything else, so we might as well just sell it all. Wood is very expensive. It's very worth collecting. So this could run our economy very easily, actually. And I'm okay with that. As long as we're producing enough food, which the game thinks we already are, that's excellent. We're just gonna work towards our goals. So I believe... I don't know how many sun temples you build in the course of the game, but it's not many. You need 220 sandstone just to drop the thing. And then you also need a bunch to actually finish it. You only make a couple. It's not something that you make a lot of. And I think that's what's interesting. It's always interesting when you have certain constructs that you don't build all the time. Because I mentioned last time that, like, it gets kind of boring to just make pyramids all the time, because it's literally just the same thing over and over again. So having something different is very nice. Alright, we'll go ahead and we'll improve the desirability of this area, shall we? And then what we may do eventually, we may bring this road around and create just a very small square of housing right here. I don't think that's a bad idea. That's fine. No big deal. Alright, let's go ahead and drop down a physician, because otherwise we're going to have people start dying. Very important. And you're struggling with entertainment. That's probably not that surprising, but we already have a whole bunch of wood. So that's good. That's very good. Once we start selling it, which we should start selling it here pretty directly, I hope, we can start working on some kind of military, because we are going to be attacked. This is a military mission. So we gotta be ready for that. so that's what I had in mind. It's going to be a little bit jank. It's going to be extremely jank. But that's okay. It's allowed to be a little bit jank. And we'll do my classic little, like, T intersection here that I tend to rely on a little bit too much, probably. There we go. Excellent. That's going to bring a lot of new workers in, so let's go ahead and build a recruiter. I'd like to plop it. Oh, that's actually functional. Okay. A recruiter and a military academy. This is an enormous building, and it's supposed to greatly increase, like, how good your troops are. I don't really know how well it works in the grand scheme of things, but it's okay. It's alright. And we're going to go ahead and we're just going to drop a couple military forts up here to begin with. We're not going to go crazy, not yet. But that's where we're going to start. 29% unemployment, okay. So we could use those workers to produce more wood. That would be pretty nice. We'll also need a bunch of those workers for later. But right now we wanna really do some wood maxing here. Does anybody else buy wood? No. So that is something we're going to have to keep an eye on. Because On is only going to buy so much wood. They're only going to be buying 2,500 units of wood a year. So we cannot just entirely rely on that. Not entirely. Okay. So let's go ahead and drop the city palace here. That'll improve the desirability of this neck of the woods. I don't really think that's necessarily a requirement. Okay, a new trade route to Deshur has opened. That's good. Oh, the town palace is actually much bigger than I assumed that it is. There we go. That should do it. No. There we go. And that should definitely help my unemployment a bit. Yes? Not actually as much as I expected it to. Okay. Alright, so the South Deshur buys pottery and bricks. Okay. Who sells? Sarabat Kadum sells copper. That'll be useful. But right now, I need to buy clay to make pottery. Both for my own people and to trade. We may be able to turn this into like our own little industrial sector. If we import 400 clay, we can then start producing pottery. And we can just kind of run it all along this line. I don't know how well that'll work, but we can try it. Have like a storage yard specifically for pottery. This can be all the raw resources. They just run it along this line as they produce the resources that they need. But that's going to be a good start. We'll still need more, though. Do we want to maybe try to export food? Is that something that we can do? No. So other than maybe needing it for Pharaoh requests, we probably are not going to need game meat to sell on the market. I guess I should clarify. I should clarify that, yeah? Yeah. Okay, so that will start our pottery business. That will upgrade them a little bit further. And we can go ahead and drop down a bandstand. There. And a conservatory. Yeah. There? Here? There. And that'll upgrade these houses to the point where they'll need beer, I believe. But also we may need to just start working on a secondary... What else can we buy? We need to have some kind of industry to soak up all of this unemployment. We could sell linen. Or papyrus. Let's see, papyrus is usually pretty good because reeds are very cheap compared to flax. And you get about the same return between papyrus and linen. I think that's what we're going to do. Let's go ahead and import 800 reeds. We're going to put that in this storage yard. And then we're going to build another storage yard. This is going to be for papyrus. We're going to build like, I don't know, 4 to 6, probably 4 for the moment, papyrus makers. And just so everything doesn't burn down in a horrible disaster, we're also going to put these things down here. Yeah, yeah. So we do have work camps. We don't really have a use for them right now, though. But what we could do... We could try starting to set up to build our monument. So we need what? We need 240... 220... sandstone. So that would be 7 storage yards full of sandstone. That we just have to place somewhere. Well, here's another question. Slightly unrelated. I'm being a little bit scatterbrained right now. I may want to import copper at some point to actually get some real military units. We're probably going to need more than just archers. But that's neither here nor there. Let's get these industries set up first. We still need so much. So many employees. I mean, we could set up the storage yards just so that we know we have enough. something like that. I mean, we only really need the workers for it. And even if the workers are just sitting around in the storage yard the whole time, they're still functional, technically. All right, let's go ahead and start selling papyrus. We don't really have a use for papyrus right now, other than selling. So we might as well just sell the papyrus. Where do we sell the papyrus? Pottery, bricks. Right here. Okay. We're just gonna sell all the papyrus. There we go. I figured we were going to get attacked, yes. And I also figured it was going to happen sooner rather than later, yeah. Okay, we still have to get beer. That's not really a concern for me at the moment. I am going to put another physician over here, though. Just to be on the safe side. I don't want to get plagued.
I'm new here. I wonder what the city will offer to a person like me.
Are these people moving out?
I heard there is a job here for anyone who wants one.
Huh. Okay. That's probably because we have 24% unemployment. Let's be real.
I am off for a hard day's
Okay.
logging.
So we can... You could build walls around the city. This city was, like, this map was kind of made for us to build walls around it. We could do that just to make it, like, look kind of aesthetically pleasing. There wouldn't really be any rhyme or reason to it. It would just be there to look cool. Because as long as we actually beat the enemies in the field, we shouldn't need the walls. The walls just exist to protect the city in case you're bad. Which, admittedly, I am pretty bad, but still. Please tell me you're here to buy...
Here was for nothing.
No.
The city won't trade.
I need...
It's the trader's life for me.
I need the wood merchant to come and purchase wood so that I have some money. Or the papyrus merchant. He could go buy some papyrus too. That would go very well as well. That's not quite as good as the woodcutters, though, because right now the woodcutters are pretty much sheer profit, because I don't have to import anything for them. Okay, so we could build a temple complex. I don't really have a reason to, but it would definitely solve some of our employment problems. At least somewhat. It's just, where would I put it? Ideally, you know, I could put it down here. Put another cluster of housing over here, maybe? It's fine. We don't need the wood. It's not a big deal. Oh, there's a crocodile spawner right there. That sucks. Now let's not get rid of all of that wood then. Okay. So we could put it over here instead. Especially if we ultimately decide to put more housing over here, we might be able to, like, pepper some houses in through here with this higher desirability. What does the altar of Matt and Horus do? That's a good question. Let's find out. Through the priest of Ra, Matt resolves a calming effect on the city. As they pass by, Ra's priests dissuade individual residents from thievery. And Horus increases the citizens' dedication to the city and the kingdom, encouraging them to accept lower wages without affecting their mood. That sounds incredibly suspect. But the altar of Matt would be nice. Why is that incredibly suspect? It's mostly because I'd have to do a little bit of trial and error to figure out exactly how much. It doesn't matter. How much I can reduce it to. And that sounds like it could be problematic, so we're not going to do that. Alright, we're just going to kind of hang out and wait for this to work. We can move the roadblock there. Yeah. That way you just come straight down along here. Real question is, where are we going to put this monument? I guess we could put it, like, over here. That might work. One month? We should be ready in a month. At least as ready as we're going to be. No religious facilities? I guess. I mean, there's one right here, so you should be able to get religious facilities. But maybe I need to put down a little bit more. Okay, we can do that. I think we need another temple to set so that he doesn't get mad. I could be wrong about that. And then we'll put the firehouse here. It's a little bit jank, but it should work. That did solve our unemployment problem, though. It's just not, not the way I wanted to solve our unemployment problem. But it's only temporary. They'll come back. Okay. What's your problem? Desirability. That doesn't surprise me. I haven't really done a lot to improve the desirability here. That's going to cost almost 1,000. That's going to cost 500 gold, not over 1,000. We should probably also put a firehouse And an architect's post out here, just to be on the safe side. They might struggle to get workers out there, but it'll probably be fine. There we go. Now we should be able to do this. Excellent. Okay. Let's go ahead and... Do we want to start importing... We should start importing sandstone. It's not very expensive. It's just going to take us a long time. I didn't know you could do that. I was just testing the theory if I could click and type it. That's pretty nice. That's pretty nice. So we need 220 sandstone. That's a lot of sandstone. But it's just what we need to do. And it's very cheap, so it shouldn't tax our economy too hard. And then we need to get beer set up. So let's go ahead. We're going to open this up to barley. We're going to start importing. We have to open up the trade route. Who sells barley? You? You. Okay. There we go. All right. So we'll go ahead and we'll import 400 barley and build another storage yard for beer. Nice, nice. And build a couple breweries. Do I only need 2? 4% unemployment. 19 people. I think for now we're only going to do 2. We may need to increase that later, but that should be fine to start with. I mean, we need to add more people to the city anyway, so... Like, even if we do get short on people, I guess, we can just add more housing. Probably over here. We'll create, like, a little block of housing right in here. Just to, you know, make it look nice around the temple there. Rip Reuben, how's it going today? Liam Crossington III. Sometimes I wish I was a third. And you know what? Yeah, we're making some nice money right now. We could put down our personal mansion. I think for now, though, we're going to put down a couple of constables. Because we're going to need them. I mean, I worked last night, so I'm a bit tired, but I'm doing all right. I'm doing okay. I just thought I'd jump on, maybe do a mission of Pharaoh, maybe 2 missions if this one doesn't take very long. I should stream a couple other things. I still have Dynasty Warriors in my back pocket, but I haven't really been feeling Dynasty Warriors lately. So it's something I'm going to have to go back to at some point. And I don't really want to start a new series because a lot of the series on my list are games that are going to take a lot of time. And Dynasty Warriors is taking a lot of time. And Pharaoh is taking a lot of time. So, like, I don't really want to split up my attention even more than I already have, even though I've been, like, super hyper-focused on Pharaoh right now. Wait, why didn't I? Oh, I forgot to accept sandstone in all of these camps. Okay. Well, that would explain why we don't have any sandstone yet. There we go. I want to start importing sandstone. Pesty work. You have to get a job this summer. You're 50% looking forward to it. It's nice to have the money. If I didn't need the money, I wouldn't be working a day job. But, yeah, it's going to take us several years for us to get the amount of sandstone that we need, because we're only importing it from... Who are we importing it from? Unit? No. Abu? Abu. And we can only import 40 per year. We need 220. So we have a long way to go with that. That's why I wanted to start that early. Okay. So we have some beer coming in. That'll be good. That'll upgrade these. We will need a pavilion somewhere, and I'm not quite sure where to build one. I guess we could put a pavilion over here. Like, I'm planning on putting housing over here anyway, right? Do I want to delete these trees? Yeah, we have plenty of wood. If they have to go farther for wood, it's not going to be a big deal. Like, if I put housing kind of like around this pool here, how do I want to do this? Something like this, maybe? Yeah. Yeah, I think this is going to be the first time I'm going to make an actual block of housing, and it's going to look jank as heck because it's around a pool of water. But that's okay, because the whole point is to not make everything into the fancy blocks that I'm super comfortable with, so that's good. And we could put a pavilion there, and we can plop a dance studio right here. So that'll at least get some of these houses entertainment. Okay, so we also need scribal schools, which we already have plenty of papyrus for, so we just have to find a spot to plop them down. There we go. And there we go. Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, so we only need, what was it, 3,000 people? 3,000 people. That's going to be super easy. We already have the other requirements that we need. They're very easy. And then we just have to build the monument. But I can't help but feel like this mission is going to try to throw us a curveball at some point. I'm just not quite sure when and where that's going to be. So let's go ahead and start importing some copper. Copper and weapons. Well, we can't import... We can't import weapons, but we can import the copper. That's going to be very expensive, but we have plenty of wood exporting. We have plenty of papyrus exporting. We could even export some of this pottery, although we don't want to export all of it. So we'll export it when it's over 400. I guess that's fine. And then we're going to start working on weapon production, because I don't trust the game. I don't trust the game at all. I don't know why I wouldn't trust the game, but I don't. I don't trust it not to pull shenanigans on me. Okay. Plop down a couple dentists as well. Make all these people happy and healthy. Okay, these guys need a second type of food. I could probably import a second type of food. I don't really think it's necessary to upgrade my housing much higher than what these already are. Because we're going to get our 3,000 population when we fill out this section over here. Probably. So let's go ahead and try to focus on that for the time being. Unemployment is in a bad spot. Let's not worry about unemployment right now. Because that's just what we need. When we have bad unemployment, we need more people to come in. Yeah, totally. What's the worst that could happen, right? Okay. So I want to do something like this. Just like give these people waterside property. I don't actually think water improves desirability in any way whatsoever. Even though it probably should. But it's fine. It's fine. Plop down Set and Pharaoh, or yeah, Set and Ra over here. And Booth right there. We'll need a physician. Excuse me, deer. Okay. A deer was in my way. Sneaky, sneaky. Alright, so we have weapons being produced. That means we can actually grab some infantry, because we need weapons to build infantry. We're also going to put our personal mansion down over here. And we're going to start taxing these people as well. If I can find some place to put the tax collectors. There, and I think we'll put one, like, right here. It's a little bit jank, but it'll work just fine. There we go. Do we need a physician on this side, too? We may. It's not going to hurt to add extra physicians. We're going to have so much population. So many people that need jobs. Yeah, and importing this copper is starting to hurt our finances a little bit. But I think we could just take a break from building stuff for a while and we'll be okay. We're fine. We may go into debt. That's why we have the Pharaoh's Purse. I haven't even touched it yet. It'd be great if we didn't touch it, but I don't see any traders coming in. So we're probably going to... Oh, there's one.
Our long and dangerous trek here was for nothing. The city won't
They
trade.
don't buy pottery? Well, so Pharaoh gave us some money. It's okay. I've given up on that challenge a long time ago. I feel like I mentioned that every single time. Every single time I get given money by Pharaoh. I thought it was a cool idea for a challenge to just, like, never go into debt. But it's turned out to be extraordinarily difficult. I think it would be easier if I wasn't streaming. And that might sound kind of weird, but it's important to keep in mind that when I'm streaming a game, I'm trying. I don't always succeed, but I'm trying to keep doing things. I try to keep doing things to make it entertaining, because nobody just wants to sit here and stare at a city just running itself for 5 years while I wait for my money to build up. That's just not the way it works, unfortunately. And usually if you want to go for like a weird, like, no debt challenge, you're probably going to want to build much more slower than I am. Much more slower? Slowly? You're not going to want to build so much at one time. Unemployment at 17%. Nice. Nice. I'm sure that won't cause any problems whatsoever. Alright, let's just, take this road in a janky way. Like this. And, we're going to need carpenters and stonemasons for the monument. So we might as well get them settled. Let's see. Carpenter. And, 4 stonemasons. And because I'm paranoid, we'll put an architect's post. And a firehouse back here. There we go. It would probably be fine with these here, but I don't like taking risks, so I don't risk it. Okay, so how is our food situation looking? The game still thinks we're making enough food for 3,200 people. So far, that seems like it's the case. Our granary hasn't really gone empty, so that's good. Okay, can we plop a courthouse here? Yes, all right. Excellent. And this is all desirability problems in here. Unfortunately, by limiting the space that we can put, gardens, I have kind of shoehorned myself into a situation where these houses just aren't desirable. But we're gonna try. We're gonna try to make this work. This side's gonna be really bad. Okay. Alright, let's go ahead. And we're gonna build a infantry fort. We may have just a whole squad of military stuff by the end of this game. I don't know why I'm feeling like I have to overbuild military here, but that's what we're doing, so that's what I'm doing. That's what we're doing, so that's what I'm doing. Yeah, that makes total sense. Okay, so we have 3 warehouses full. That means we're almost halfway there. We need to fill up the remaining 4 warehouses with sandstone before we can even put down the blueprint for the Sun Temple. And we're probably going to put it down, here-ish. Well, maybe there-ish. Would it look better over here? I don't know. We'll figure that out when the time comes. We're still at least a few more years away from that. Also, this might actually not be enough housing. Granted, we have enough room for 200 more people, and we're at 16% unemployment. I mean, we could put down more work camps. We literally don't have a use for work camps right now, so this is literally just to soak up the unemployment. And this area isn't getting enough food. I mean, we could place a bazaar, I guess. Right there. The problem is, bazaars are undesirable. So, people aren't going to be happy with that. What if we put a statue over here? That's not going to help the desirability over here, but it'll help the desirability right here. Yeah. There we go. That'll give us some upgrades, yeah. I believe, generally speaking, 10% unemployment is the upper limit before people start getting annoyed. So when you get really high unemployment, your city sentiment will drop. Let's see, where is that? Is that here? Yeah, city sentiment here. The higher your city sentiment, the more people will be willing to come in, and the happier they'll be. The less likely they are going to be to leave. The less happy they are, the more likely they are going to be wanting to leave your city. And if you get into a situation where your city sentiment is low, you'll have crime problems, you'll have people leaving, you won't have enough people to work your industries because people are going to be leaving, and it could just turn into a big death spiral. So it's interesting that they have these little, like, hover overs, because the original game didn't have that. But that's interesting. Alright, well, either way, high unemployment, we're okay for now. We just gotta work on importing more sandstone. What the? A Libyan army is approaching and will reach your city in 0 months. Are we immediately going to get invaded as soon as I press the X here? No? No? It just must be something that's going to happen this month at some point. Maybe. Or maybe it will happen next month. Who knows? It's a mystery. Well, if we need to build more housing, we can definitely put more housing down here. It's funny, there's actually a lot of space on this map. I remember the introduction being like, ooh, you need to be careful with your space because there's not a lot of water. But it's not bad, it's not bad. There we go. Our masses of archers get into range and just completely decimate the enemy. It's good. It's good. No food here. These guys still need pottery, which this bazaar's probably going out to get some. Okay, they already have. Yep. Perfect. Alright, well, let's hang out for a few minutes. Let's just wait for our exports to catch up, get us a little bit of money. And we should be good to go. We should be good to go. I don't feel quite comfortable enough to start fast-forwarding this this mission. Even though a lot of it right now is we are just waiting for sandstone. But, yeah. Yeah, we're still kind of precarious in a financial situation. We have the exports. We just need to wait for it to come in to make us some money. Although I should probably look.
High low, sell high. That's my motto.
I should look for more cities we could trade with to see if we can improve our exports even more.
You can talk a fine bargain, my friend. I'll barely make back my cost.
We could sell beer. Can we import gems? That would be from you, probably. We could import gems. Gems are a bit of a weird one to import because gems on their own are actually pretty expensive. Like, it costs us 120 gold to import gems. And yeah, we make 150 on the exports. But that's still not much. That's still not much at all, especially when you compare it to, like, the reeds and the papyrus, where we're making a lot more money with that. Yeah, I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think it's a good idea to import gems to sell jewelry. We could probably export some of our beer. Unemployment is in an interesting spot right now. That's okay. How many people are unemployed? 175. Well, we may start seeing what happens when we have high employment. I don't think I've showed that off too much so far. Also, we are really in debt. It's because of the copper. We're selling a lot of... We're buying a lot of copper, and we're not selling a lot of everything else just yet.
You talk a fine bargain, my friend. I'll barely make back my costs.
I think we stopped buying copper for now. I think we do want to import copper, but I don't think we want to go more crazy over it. We only really need copper to reinforce our troops. We should have enough now to fully man our army. I hope. I'd also really like more people to buy wood, but I don't think that's going to happen. Let's see. Yeah, we already have those trade routes open. So we could do linen. That's the only other major trade good that I think would be worth digging into. We don't really need it for our people, which means it would be entirely profit. Yeah, why not? Let's do some linen, shall we? Alright, let's import 800 flax. It's pretty cheap. And then we'll just export all of our linen as we produce it. We'll go with that for now. 18% unemployment. Yeah, this is fine. What's a little bit of unemployment? It's not a big deal. What other, like, big... It's really only... I don't know why I need a library, but I'll plop one down anyway. It means it's 30 workers. Like, that's a chunk. I just need to find some place for all these people to work. Like, there's not really a point to building more wood production. We're already capped at that, basically. Like, we're producing more wood than we're selling. Granted, it's a bit slower now because they have to walk farther for the wood. So it may be worth building some of these woodcutters down here. Or, oh, there's not really any room over here. Why not? Let's build a roadblock farther down. Like, I don't know, there. And let's plop some woodcutters here. I feel like that's a little bit unnecessary, but it's workers, right? It's people to work the jobs. And right now, that's all I'm really looking for. Yeah, and we'll put like a line of housing over here or something. Still plenty of food, which is funny because we only have 4 hunting lodges. It's crazy how efficient hunting lodges are when they're right next to the granary. And the food source, because the food source is right here. They don't have to walk far. Alright, 11% unemployment. That's not as bad. We'll just plop a couple more work camps down, just to be on the safe side. Never mind, I lied. Okay. I lied. Here, we can put a scribal school up here. That'll help these houses upgrade. Which could be a good thing, it could be a bad thing. I think this library will eventually work its way up through here, but I'm too impatient for that. So, it's all good. Oh wait, I need dentists as well. Let's put those in before I go nuts with the gardens. There we go. Alright, and then we're just going to create a layer of gardens. Yeah, there we go. That'll help the unemployment, or the desirability very slightly. It's still not great, though. Desirability is a struggle here. That's for sure. But we only have a little bit more sandstone we need to collect. How much sandstone are we at? 152. We're getting there. We're getting there. Slowly but surely. And we're getting papyrus as well. Yeah, this tends to be one of the awkward things you run into when you do these military missions. Like, military missions tend to be hard because they want you to import a lot of things. They don't really require a large population, but they tend to have smaller maps with, like, odd geography where you can't necessarily build, like, fancy housing. And plus you need to invest a large amount of money and resources into your military. But it's okay. I'm trying to get like a nice mix of both military and peaceful missions because, you know, they play a little bit differently. They play a little bit differently, and I wouldn't know how to choose. I wouldn't know how to choose without rolling the dice, so to speak. But I think we have a good system in place for that. I think the coin flip is the best choice.
I hope I'm credited for the great condition of this city.
Ah, that's the architect.
How can I lead a posh lifestyle if I'm not properly
There's the
situated?
scribe. Sometimes I see characters and I'm like, who are they? And just get distracted. And then it turns out to be something very generic, like a scribe or an architect. Somebody that I've probably seen a million times. But all the characters do look distinct, and that does help differentiate them in the crowd. It's just they don't always pay all that much attention to it. So how does our tax look? Everybody paying their taxes okay? They sure are. Okay, that's good. They better be. Taxes just barely offset the payroll. But we are collecting all of our taxes. Good, good. All right, 2,600. Current housing is not enough to hold the population that we need. So I guess we can put more housing down here. Let's, of course, I just built these woodcutters so we can get this wood faster. But let's go ahead and do that. And then our last little bit of housing that we need, we're going to put, like, right here. Right in here. Which means we can go ahead and roadblock that. Hold on. There we go. I figured that should help seep the entertainment up through here, so maybe we won't have to build weird entertainment buildings up here. Sorry about that, I had to sneeze. Okay. 12% unemployment, okay. Set this up again. This is a pretty standard design for me at the moment. I wish this was kind of like Dyson Sphere program or something where you could have like templates set up. But I also understand that this game is like a remake of a game that's 1,000 years old. And back then they didn't even know what a template was for a game like this. So I guess I can kind of give them a pass. Kind of. Maybe a little bit, just a little wee bit. There we go. There's our temple. So we'll put our physician here, and we're just going to plop like a whole bunch of work camps down here. This has been a weirdly quiet mission. I haven't gotten any like Pharaoh requests. I think we got one super early. It's just been random battles, and that's about it. There we go. Nice. Put an architect's post and a firehouse down here as well. There we go. I'd rather be extra super duper safe than have part of my city catch on fire. There we go. Probably didn't need to do that. These are going to upgrade and we'll have plenty of people. But it's okay. It's fine. It's fine. Fine. Not a big deal. I am glad I kept this little cluster of trees right here because it is helping these woodcutters. But yeah, I think once these houses upgrade, we will probably reach our population cap. Or not population cap, that's not the right word. We'll reach the population that we need, and then we will probably start fast forwarding until we get the sandstone that we need. And then we get to decide on a place to put this massive fancy monument. It'll probably be over here. Although, I may want to build a couple of more... Yeah, we're probably going to want to build a couple more hunting lodges. Not that I necessarily think that we're going to need them, but we are very close. Like, if we go in here, well, it's going to be a little bit different now. It's at 5,600 people now, but it was at 3,200. If our pops popped up to like 3,000, that's only like a 200 pop difference between our capacity for food and what we need. And if there's ever some kind of weird crisis, I don't want to worry about it. So we're not going to. Okay, so how many sandstone are we at? 176? Man, that's always the problematic part of this kind of mission. You run into this a lot. Oddly enough, we've dodged every single obelisk mission so far, but the obelisk is built basically the same way. You collect a crap ton of, I think it's granite for the obelisk, and you need to fill like a half a dozen storage yards full of it, and then you just have to wait until you slowly fill up those storage yards. But that's okay. 375? It's gonna be very close to 3,000 population. That's okay. That's absolutely fine. I don't even think building the dentist triggers an upgrade. It's something you need, obviously. Oh, that's so good. I'm glad that they're willing to trade more wood. Yeah, no upgrade. No upgrade from that, unfortunately. That's okay. I won't hold it against anybody. I don't know why I'm coughing so all of a sudden. So we are a no mark. We are making $40 per month. Now you want to be careful with this. It might be tempting when you're making a lot of money to put your salary up to Pharaoh. You don't do that. It will make people angry. And you do not want people to be angry. And also the money comes out of your city funds, and you don't want to bleed yourself dry. Personal salary right here. But you also want to build that up across multiple missions, because much like in the previous mission, you may need it to easily top off your kingdom standing, or give your city an injection of funds in an emergency. Those are two very important options. Alright, I think we're at a point now where we can probably fast forward. Here, let's start importing copper again, because I think that's fine. I think it's okay to import some copper now. We're not building as much. We're making more money. We're trading more wood. I think we're good to import copper. And we'll just go ahead and we'll start fast forwarding now. And we'll build a second infantry fort. We'll put it over here. There we go. Alright, we're very close. I think the next shipment of sandstone will have enough stone. And you know what? Just because we can, and we haven't really done it yet, we need to make this look good. If we're gonna do this, we need to make it look good. Here, let's slow down. Let's get the monument down first. Okay, we have what we need for the Sun Temple. I'd like to put it like here. I don't know if the game's going to let me with those deer though. So we may have to put it up here. Oh, we're not quite there. We're 4 off. Of course we are. Alright, well, we should be able to win this battle pretty easily. Yep, it's all good. Okay. Are we there yet? Nope. There we go. All right. So first things first, let's move this road slightly. That way we can stick it right there. But I'd like to put it right here, if the game will let me. I don't know if the game's gonna let me. What if we blocked this off? Hold on. Yeah. All right. This seems to be working. I hope. They just need to take this deer. And we could put it right here. Perfect. Excellent. All right. Let the deer free. So now that we have that, like I said at the beginning, I want to build a wall around this city. Because I think that would be cool. If the game will let me. How do we rotate? There we go. Alright. So we want to build a gate there. 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 And I think there. I'm just gonna build a wall that follows this route. This is thematic. This isn't necessary, but it's thematic. And I haven't built a wall this game yet, so I might as well, right? Yeah, that's fine. So I know that, like, I can use the terrain as part of the wall and it'll do fine. I don't feel like I want to do that. I feel like it looks best if, like, it's all a contiguous wall, right? Yeah. There we go. Of course, I've kind of made it a little bit hard on myself here. Here, we're gonna wall ourselves in with the crocodiles. I wonder if this would look better if it was forward a little bit. I don't know. It's fine. There we go. We actually have real big kids' walls now. Excellent. Okay. So I think we do build towers. You need towers for your walls, right? So let's go ahead and we'll put one... We'll just put one at each corner. I think that makes the most sense. Again, entirely aesthetic. Now, can we actually... Could be a bit problematic that we can't man these towers. Alright, well, let's adjust this a little bit then, shall we? Do we have to put them in? Do we have to, like, inlay them a little bit? Is that what we're gonna have to do? Yeah, that's how we're gonna have to do that. Okay. I mean, it's workable. There we go. I don't necessarily know... Oh, well, that's gonna be obnoxious. There we go. I don't necessarily know if these towers are ever going to be manned. Some of them might be. I might just put slum houses throughout the area just to make sure that they have houses. Because I want to see dudes on the walls. Also, these towers are super expensive. And these enemy armies are getting bigger. So maybe it's good that we're setting up walls, yeah? Okay. Once this deer moves, we'll be able to put a tower there, yeah. I doubt this tower is ever going to be manned. I don't even have a way to it, so let's just not worry about that one. And we'll put one here. So there is a function in the game where you can set these up so that they do not need road access. But I feel like that's against the spirit of the game, because in the original game, you had to have road access to the towers. So that's why I didn't pick that option. There we go. And we'll do this one as well. Why do these still not have? It's just probably a visual issue. Okay. So let's go ahead and put a couple slum houses out here, just to ensure that they have some kind of access to the general populace. And we'll also put a firehouse and an architect's post out here. You don't need it for the towers, but you'll need it for the housing. And these may be fine. No, maybe not. It's fine. We'll put a block of slum housing right there, too. And that should catch all of those towers. These ones should man themselves, yeah. And this one as well. Ooh. Well, it will now. There we go. Nice, nice. All right, and we can also put, I mean, if we really want to, we could put towers next to either gate. I think that looks kind of silly, though. I'm not quite sold on it. But it's probably fine. That already has plenty of towers. I'll put 2 over here. Yeah. There we go. So what does this defense overlay look like? Because I haven't really monkeyed with that, because I haven't really been doing... Okay, so this is the entire area that's protected if my army gets defeated in battle. I think that's how that works. I have not actually lost a battle to find out with walls, but I think that's how the defense overlay works. But we'll see. I'm just gonna hang out over here for a minute and watch this sun temple be built. I always think the sun temple is really cool. Again, you don't really build that many of them, and other than needing a lot of resources, a lot of the same resources, it's not that difficult to build. But I think it'll look cool at the end of the day. There we go, and we actually have guards now. Nice. We have a whole bunch of active towers. And we'll have even more once the recruiter catches up. Awesome. So in the classic game, walls were important because you needed the walls to kind of funnel enemies into an area to fight them, because you did all of your fighting on this map. It was a little bit more tactical. In this game, it all happens in a separate screen. You don't have to really worry about it. I don't know how I feel. I fully understand people being mad at removing the combat system from the city map, but at the same time, like, it was a very weak part of the game. It was janky, it was buggy, it was frustrating, but it was at least relevant, I guess, would be a good way to put it. You know, the way that your city was laid out mattered. You could see sentries patrolling the walls if you had your city set up like this, which I haven't seen any patrolling sentries yet. And if there are none, that'll be a little bit disappointing. So, I don't know. What are you doing? Oh, you're just chilling? Are you waiting for... Now you're waiting for more blocks. Okay. Yeah, it still needs a lot more blocks. It tends to be a slow trickle when compared to like a pyramid. But yeah, I think we can probably speed this up though. This is we're in a good spot right now. We can watch this get built. I think at this point they're working on the actual stuff that needs sandstone, so there's that. I don't think we can build a second recruiter. No, you're limited to 1 recruiter per city. Okay. And then the next question I have is, do I have burial provisions? I do not. Okay, so I literally just have to finish the temple. And we still have some time left to do that because it's going to take a while for us to get the resources that we need because we still need a bunch of sandstone. So we're not quite there yet. We're not quite there yet. Might as well work on continuing to max out our military industry, though. Oh, is it already maxed out? It must be. I can't build any more forts. Okay, well. We're good to go, then. We have peaked. I am curious, though. We have 16 towers. Does that do anything for us in these battles? No, but that was a lot of enemies. Jeez, that was a lot of enemies. Also, there's still one... Interesting. Okay. Alright. We won't worry about that. Everything's working as intended. Price of wood has risen. That's very good for us. Very nice. Alright, so we chillin'. We chillin' until this mission's complete then. I am going to grab some snacks, I think. I don't think I have any available to me, so I'm gonna have to run across the way here and see if I have any. I will be right back. Alright, I have returned with a can of Pringles. So, it's funny. For my break at work, I buy one of the, what are they? Like the 71-gram Pringle cans, which are like the quarter cans of Pringles. And I only eat them about half the time. But, a lot of times I'll forget them in my car. And then like a week later, I'll be looking for a snack and I'll just stumble upon them. So they're like surprise Pringle presents. They're pretty neat. It's pretty funny. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and mute myself while I munch on some Pringles. I might be wrong, but I'm fairly certain that this may be the only sun temple you build in the game, which also makes it interesting. So, like, you have 2 missions to choose from. Each mission, in either mission, you build a sun temple, and it's like the only sun temple you build in the entire game. You might build one more later on, but it's pretty neat. It's pretty neat. Let's see if we can find a list of Sun Temple missions while we wait for this to finish. Lots of people being confused as to why they can't drop the Sun Temple down. It's because they don't have enough sandstone. Let's see. I think I've looked this up a few times and I can never find the right answer. Okay, so there is a mission in the latter half of the game where you have to build another sun temple. So I was wrong. Basically. Basically, I was wrong, and I don't know what I'm talking about. But that's okay. We need 11 blocks of sandstone to finish this. And then we have to recover our population, because our population has dipped. Interesting. I don't know why our population would have dipped. But that's fine. It should be pretty easy to do. And there it is. There's the finished Sun Temple. It's nice. It looks really good. We don't need this road anymore. Alright. So let's just go ahead and build, like, a small block of housing here. Just to get more people, and we should be good to go. I knew we were very close.
Well done. You have made the most of limited resources and brought Ra's power to this isolated spot.
I knew we were close on our housing to our population limit. But there it is. There's our completion of Bahariya Oasis. It's a nice little city, if I have to say so myself. I like it. I like it. What time is it? It is 10 o'clock. Okay. Well, let's see what the next mission has for us before I make a decision on whether I'm going to continue streaming or not. Alright, we have the Dakla Oasis and Dunkul Oasis. So we have a very large land where we need 500 population, or 5,000 population. That would be pretty involved, and a small obelisk. Or this one, where I also need a small obelisk. I don't think I have the time to... so, it would be close. It would be very close, but I don't think I have the time to do any of these missions today. So, I think I'm going to call that a stream. Let's take a look at the mission selection screen and see how close we are to finishing this. Old Kingdom... Okay, so these are the last 2 missions that we have to choose between the Old Kingdom, and then we're going to go on to the Middle Kingdom. I'll not look too hard at that. There's spoilers there. And then, just if you're curious, these are the expansion missions. I've played them very little, so it'll be interesting to jump in on those. But, yeah, so next time we'll do the last mission in the Old Kingdom missions, and we will go from there. But thank you, everybody, for watching. I appreciate every single one of you. I know it was a bit of a short stream today. We only did 1 mission, but, just kind of an awkward timing with the time that I was streaming today. But, until next time, folks, happy gaming.